All right, welcome to Made in Spain. This is a focus today on the market culture of Spain and Jalón. I am Nalini Sharma and
I am Laura Senior Garcia, and we're your co-hosts for the Made in Spain podcast.
Laura, do you want to give them our housekeeping, our details?
Yes. So if you are not following us yet,
please do.
Please do. We love having you as part of the community of the Made in Spain podcast. And we do things that are not only related to Spain, you get to see a little bit of the behind the scenes. So TikTok, Instagram, at the Made in Spain podcast, at Made in Spain podcast, YouTube, just look for the Made in Spain podcast. And same thing with your Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. We super appreciate the follows, the subscriptions. It makes a big difference and it allows us to continue with this project and keep you company while you drive or while you go to the gym or maybe while you have a glass of cava like we're having today.
Yes. Okay. So the market culture. Should we start first with the market culture or?
Yes, let's do that.
Right. So let's get right to the market culture. Now, if you think about a market culture, the best way to say it for somebody outside of, I would say Europe, because other obviously European countries have, markets. It would be the combination of a flea market with a farmer's market. And it is not seasonal throughout Spain. It is every single week, depending on where you live, your city, your village, your market day. So I've always loved a farmer's market, maybe not necessarily a flea market, but I love a farmer's market. It's a really fun thing to do. And I've really doubled down on going to my local market, which takes place. I actually visit all the markets. I have a flower market for Friday. I have my vegetable market on Sunday, but it really stems from, 1,000 years ago when people had small goods and services and products to trade. So if you're a farmer in one area and you make something in this area and you have something to sell, you come together in the town square in the center of the village to trade your things to sell it. That's how it's, just the origin of it. And again, not just here in Spain, but throughout Europe as well. And as time, passed, Spanish, especially in the bigger cities, they decided that it's not very hygienic to be selling, for example, raw meat.
Yeah, which they don't sell at the markets here.
Which they don't.
But they used to.
But they used to. So they thought, and then also you have inclement weather, whether it's rain or heat or whatever. To make it more hygienic in bigger cities, they established mercats. So the central market they typically seem to have some type of iron gate or structure.
We would call it like a bóveda, which is like a big kind of, usually some kind of curved infrastructure that keeps the cool inside the market naturally.
Yes. So that's how they evolve. So in bigger cities, you will have that central location that the markets operate throughout the year. And you can buy, pretty much everything under the sun there for, whether it's kitchen stuff or cooking stuff, whatever. But I think it's also interesting that it went from, these little village market days to this very established commercial venture, but you still have local producers within these markets. They're local producers. That's the more organized way of doing it. In the smaller towns and villages, you have your market day. You do have to have a permit. It's not like anybody can pull up with a car.
No, and those are protected.
They're protected. You have to go through your local town to get your permit, and you set up in a spot. So every week that is going to be your spot where you are. And the police come around and check. I see them walking through the market all the time. On a Sunday, I have a particular vendor that I go to. They sell all the fresh herbs, and then I have the fresh fruit and the fresh vegetables, and I have usually a very terrible coffee, but I love the whole thing. I love the whole experience because it's really, nobody's dressed up. You always overbuy the most,
the things you didn't think you needed.
Well, also in the middle of the summer,
watermelon.
A whole watermelon is maybe €2. So I'm going to buy it. And then, a bag of potatoes. It has to be very heavy by the time you're leaving.
Can you understand why sometimes I think of Nalini as the market lady?
Because I go on a Friday morning to the Alfaz market. The Friday is their market day. And this is another thing. If you are coming from outside, let's say you're coming here and you've rented an Airbnb for a number of weeks or a month, or you're spending some time here, check out. You have to go online, but you will see when your town or village, their market day is. And it has not changed. It will not change.
For hundreds of years in some cases.
It's just that is the day that they sell the fresh produce and people bring out their, whatever, the flea market-y kind of stuff to sell. So yeah, I love it. I think it's fun, and it's kind of a way to either end your week, start your week, depending on how it falls.
So that's kind of starting to get into the topic of our episode, which is the market. Before we dive any further into that, let's go to our new little section that we've introduced about what are you watching, eating, using. So I wanted to mention a show that I've been watching on Netflix, and I want to get the name right. It is $1 Million Secret.
Okay.
And I think it's actually a hilarious show. It's kind of stressful because it is a show where each participant could potentially get $1 million, and they have it as a secret, and they have to try and keep that secret from the other participants in the show. So it's all a show about like lying and seeing if other people know you're lying and forming alliances. And I have to say, I'm like laughing so hard watching it because some of the people are really good at it and they come in with a whole strategy. And some people, like the moment that they start getting questioned whether they have the money or not, you can just see like they're blushing and like,
Oh, really?
It's hilarious. Like I honestly, so entertaining, reality TV, but really makes you think about what lengths we're willing to go to to keep $1 million in our pocket.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that sounds like something I would like to check out over a weekend.
Yeah.
What I've purchased recently is, do you know this store? I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think I can spell it. It's Niche. It's a shoe.
Nietzsche?
Yeah, it's a shoe store.
I don't know that one.
No, you know it. It's in our local shopping mall, but they've closed down.
Okay.
It's Nietzsche.
Nichi Seijo.
Yes.
Okay, Nichi Seijo. It's NICHI SEIJO.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So you're familiar with it?
Yes, I am.
Are they Spanish?
I don't know, because that actually sounds like a Japanese name.
I'm not sure what the origin of the store is, but they had a pair of white cowboy boots.
Ooh.
White cowboy boots.
That's a statement.
Trust me, these boots are a statement. They were in the window. And there were no shoes left really in the store. There were probably 10 pairs of shoes. And I really wanted these boots. So I don't know why I want them, but I think, I won't say my age, but I feel like at my age, if I want something, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
Because there's no other option at this point. There's no other option. I better get it because I'm going to run out of time and I might as well get it now. So
you got plenty of time, hopefully.
But, okay, still, I went in. They are closing down. They're completely closing all their stores. So they have a location, I think in Alicante, one in Valencia. And she said, this is the last size that we have. Ooh. There's no others. I tried it on, too big. I'm like, okay. And they're leather, like really tall cowboy leather. Boots, really good leather. Couldn't get it. So the day we went to Valencia, just walking around, I mean, we had maybe 2 hours maximum, and that included finding a parking spot. So it wasn't a lot of time. We went in, we did a quick browse around, and as I'm walking past, I see the store. And again, they're probably, I mean, I wouldn't even say 20 pairs of shoes left. They're really going out of business and they're just selling what they have. I see in the corner
the white boots.
And my husband started laughing. He's like, it's as if those boots were waiting for you.
Oh.
And I said, I think so. And I thought, I wonder if it's going to be my size.
It was.
They were my size.
Yay!
And they were even less expensive. And they were already not a lot of money to begin with for leather cowboy boots. White. So that will be a look. I don't know when.
You better wear them tomorrow. We're going out for lunch tomorrow. She's going to wear them tomorrow.
I don't think I have anything to, but yes, I'm now the proud owner of
White Cowboy boots.
Actually made here in Spain too.
And in my squirrel brain, as I'm sitting here listening to you, the only thing I can think about is these boots are made for walking. Awesome.
So yeah, that's what I will be wearing.
Nice. So diving back into our topic, one of the things that gets overlooked sometimes when it comes to the market culture is the social function of the market.
Right.
So in the Spanish towns, the market is kind of a weekly gathering point for people of different generations. You come to shop, but you also come to argue, you come to gossip, and to eat the bocadillo standing up. So I mentioned to Nalini the other day when we discussed that we were going to do this episode that my brother reminded me the other day of when we used to go to the market as kids on a Sunday in Benidorm.
Really? Oh, nice.
And that has always been like such a tradition. Even if there wasn't really anything to buy, you know, we would get taken to the market. And the smell of the sausages
the sausages. And they do the pollo asado.
Yeah, so the smell of the sausages, and then we would get a bocadillo with sausages and a French omelette. It's a bit of a weird combination, but French omelette with the sausages in a big bocadillo. And he said, do you remember those bocadillos? And it's really funny because I did remember them, but for him, he remembers places, things, etc. around what he ate.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
I don't really usually, my memory, that's not the way I recall things. But that was like the strongest memory he had of the market is the smell of sausages and eating the bocadillo.
Yeah, because the markets, they don't... if you're thinking, I mean, depending on the market that you go to, but really like sort of the local market in whatever town or, you know, little village you're in, they're not going to have a huge selection of hot food.
Right.
So if you're thinking that, I'm going to get there and there's going to be a portable pizza oven, like some of these markets that, you know, a typical kind of farmer's market in, I don't know, rural Canada or America. It's not really like that. It's really a local market with local people. I would not say it's, if you're thinking of it, it's not Instagrammy. You know,
it's not kind of aesthetic, picture perfect.
No, but it's real.
Yeah.
So you have the guy with the pollo asado and they're roasting it. And first thing in the morning that you have the grilling the sausages. You'll see all the men, they stand there and they eat the sausage and they drink a little whatever is on the side. A few coffee little spots. Again, not high end. It's not a cafe. It's just really strong coffee. Yeah. That's what you're getting. But some of the markets also have a South American flair to it.
Yes. Yeah.
So now you're getting...
particularly the fruit stands.
Yeah, but the food offering. So you have arepas I've seen there. You have the... what do they call it? It's the
plantain?
They have the plantain. But
tostones.
They have... but they don't call it... It's not granizado. They call it something else.
Oh, agua something.
They have that.
Like the ice cone with a bit of flavor.
Yeah, they have that. And it's really funny because you will see, people appreciating their food on a Sunday. And it's just really cute. You're in Spain and you're in your town, but you might as well be in, I don't know, somewhere in South America because they have the music, they have kind of like the Latin music going,
Peruvian music sometimes.
It's so cool. And then you can go to another part of the market and it's all Moroccans.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a completely different flair to it, different vibe. You buy the carpets, you can buy the crockery from Morocco. I laugh because I always say we've been to Morocco twice. I'm like, I could have just gone to my local market because there's Moroccans selling the same things I bought in Morocco right here, 5 minutes from my house.
And we are very close to Morocco.
Yes.
So definitely suggest checking out the market. So let's talk a little bit about Jalón specifically.
Now this is the market of markets.
Yeah, and this is the market of markets very much focused on the flea market perspective, okay? Because a lot of the markets that Nalini is mentioning, they don't actually have the flea market side.
No.
So like the Benidorm market does not have a flea market side.
Right.
It's fruits, vegetables, clothes, you name it, but there's no flea market. There's no one selling like secondhand stuff or anything like that. So let's talk about Jalón. Jalón, which is in the Jalón Valley, Valle del Río Gorgos, sits inland a little bit from the Costa Blanca. It's hidden within the mountains, and it's about 20 minutes away from Benissa.
Okay.
Benissa is like the next town up from Calpe. You got Javia in the region, etc. This is a really good trip for like a Saturday, because that's when the market actually happens. Saturday morning. So Saturday, Sunday is a really good time to visit and kind of go visit a cluster of these towns that are very close to each other. It runs every Saturday, and it draws people from across the whole region, and it does contain everything. So,
pretty much every single thing that you can imagine under the sun, secondhand. You have to have an eye for it too.
You have to also like it.
Yeah.
So, that's the one thing that I was very determined when we went. It's like, okay, let's try and find something that we actually want. And one of the things that stood out, we actually made a little post about it on our socials. And I am a fan of creepy stuff, like looking at creepy things. I wouldn't particularly buy the creepy thing to take home, but my goodness, the dolls. They were selling all these dolls that were, I mean, honestly, I don't think if I had one of those dolls in my house, I would be able to sleep.
Yeah, they're sort of, also, I don't know who would buy them.
Lots of people.
I guess people do buy them.
People collect them. And the weird thing is, like, we went up to one of the stalls and the lady proudly says to me, "Look, she has real human hair." And I'm like, oh my goodness, like that is even more of a reason for me not to want this doll.
Yeah.
They these dolls, some of them look possessed, that they're not cool.
It's a bit strange. But first of all, don't you think the drive to the market is actually really beautiful?
It's beautiful. It's super
such
green.
A nice Saturday morning drive.
Yeah, it's so tell us about some of the things that we saw there. And maybe leave the more controversial until last.
Yeah. Okay. You can, if you need a spare bicycle tire, you can find it there. You need a lamp that has no shade, you can also find it there. If any kind of strange collectible thing, little figurines, little Hot Wheels, in the market for a fur coat, you can find it there.
For a fur coat that may have its own ecosystem.
That it might, but not one. I mean, several stalls have fur, they sell fur coats. You have rugs. You have...
Shout out to Robert.
My neighbor. Who rescues rugs from markets. He refurbishes it and then
gives them a home.
Yeah, he does. He actually says he gives these rugs a home. Yeah. You have all kinds of crockery. If you need a pot spoon, if you need, I don't know, some metal sculpture you want to put in your garden, it's there.
What's that show in the BBC called that is like
Antique Roadshow?
Antique Roadshow.
Oh my goodness. They would have a field there.
If you have,
field day.
Exactly. If you like that show, which by the way, when I'm traveling around, I'm by myself in hotels and I want to fall asleep. That is the one that I watch Antique Roadshow, because I love when they're like, someone brings something in that they found in like their grandma's house in the garage, and the guy's like, "This is worth £100,000,000," and they're like,
yeah,
I mean, so it's rare, but it does happen. And I remember Nalini and I were walking through the market, and I'm going, I wonder if there's anything here that's worth £100,000, because sometimes people sell things at flea markets that they don't know the value of.
No, it's just random things. But I do like that the market has the way it's set up. You drive through the town, it's, again, parking is a bit of a competition, but you can find parking. So you get your parking done and you start at the one end. It goes along an old riverbed. So it's quite distinct where it's not as if it's going to be scattered out throughout the town. It's just along this riverbed, and the stalls or vendors are very close together.
Yes.
So you can go from one to the other. It's a good little walk on a Saturday morning, but still it's nice. And yeah, there's just so many interesting things to see and to talk to people. And you do see that the people that go there, some of them are like us. It's our first time, and we're doing it as, something interesting to do on a Saturday morning, go for a lunch after. But there are people there who are shopping. Like, they are looking for specific things. There's a lot of glass, a lot of crystal, a lot of china.
Yeah.
Like the fine bone china. We did look at a set, the old English rose, the country rose. The red is a very iconic pattern in fine bone china, but he was missing pieces. Yeah. I actually do like, now that I'm older, I do like that kind of granny china.
I like it too. And I think it's had a bit of a comeback.
Like I do. I think it's really pretty.
And the market value for those really fluctuates as well. Again, based on my antique roadshow watching, it does kind of go up and down depending on what the demand in the market is.
Yeah.
So the one cool kind of trick that I would say you can use, you know, a lot of us have the AI apps on our phone now.
You can check.
You can take a picture and just say, do you think this is authentic? How much do you think it's worth? So that you're not totally lost. So if you are being sold something, I mean, obviously it's not 100% accurate, but it's going to give you a benchmark that there's no way by just eyeing it, you know, you would have. So that's something that you can use. And we actually did check what that set of china was worth. And he was selling under the value of the market.
Far under, but he was missing the problem. I would have like thought about buying it because again, it doesn't match anything in my house, but it is kind of like a comeback granny, old lady looking teacups, but they're so pretty and they were in perfect condition too, but he was missing parts of the set.
We should have bought it to have like high tea.
So we said, okay, we're not going to get it, but he was willing to borrow because he saw us really looking at it and he saw me reading the bottom of the cup. So he thought, okay, she knows what she's looking at here. And then he came and he gave us a much lower price than what he was originally asking. And we were kind of hemming and hawing. He said, okay, you know, so much for all of it if you take all of it. And we're like, okay, we'll think about it. Yeah. Also, just be careful that when you do purchase something at the market,
you have to barter.
Not just barter, but you also have to hoof it back to your car with whatever it is that you purchased. And you see the poor husband or the dad in the family, the mom's, you know, she purchased a plant pot for like a really great price. And the poor guy's like struggling to carry it back to the car. Because it's not like you can buy it and return it. Once you pay, it's done. So, yeah.
So let's get to the more disturbing finding that we had there. So not taking this topic lightly. I am part Jewish, so this hits like a bit too close to home for me. But when we were walking around, all of a sudden there was a stall that had some signs up that said no pictures allowed. And we're like, oh, what is that? And they were selling Nazi memorabilia. But
you did take pictures.
I did take pictures because whatever, you're selling something that I don't think you should be selling. You know, I think it's, you know, I don't know. It turns out on research that in certain countries like Germany, France, or Austria, it is banned outright.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is banned outright to sell anything that has Nazi symbols or memorabilia. So a proposed ban here in Spain exists, but hasn't been passed.
Oh.
So what you see at the Jalón market is legal, but that doesn't make it comfortable.
No, because it first, I mean, you have to, the context of it, you're in a market, you have many stalls, you have like we said, one stall has a fur coat, the next stall has, I don't know, recycled dishes. It's all various things. So as you're just kind of walking through, you get to a stall that has, it's like kind of historical things and war memorabilia. And, you just kind of start picking through it and you look and you're like, oh, this is interesting and that's interesting. And then you look towards the back and you're like, oh,
what is that?
And it's under a glass, it's covered, and you sort of look, and then, I think I said to your husband, or I said to you, or what, I'm like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Isn't this weird? Is this not weird?
Copies of the Mein Kampf, which was the book that Hitler wrote. There were hats from the SS with the originals.
Yes.
With the Nazi symbol.
Yeah. They had the little, like when you look at the war documentaries and you see the children with the little flags, the paper flags.
Those.
They had the flags in the case. It's just really a strange thing to see in a market that's, selling just random things.
However, here's the connection, because I think it's worth mentioning from a historical point, and a lot of people don't know about this. This is worth mentioning that, 20th century history, Franco had a strong desire to affiliate with Nazi Germany.
Well, also he moved the time.
Yeah. Everything was to be aligned. He wanted to be like, and again, I'm not political, not pro, no, whatever,
it's
but
true.
It's history.
Yeah.
So he wanted to align himself with Hitler.
Right.
And I don't think Hitler paid much attention to him. He's like, yeah, whatever. Like, not really interested in having, I don't think Spain was regarded as this super strategic ally or, we had just come out of a civil war when the Second World War happened. And, Spain decided they weren't going to join the Second World War because of that. But Franco
was also very poor. It was a very poor country at the time.
Exactly. But Franco wanted to align. So what supposedly, allegedly happened was when the war was over, there were a lot of people who would have been prosecuted from the Nazi side that ended up near the Jalón Valley in Calpe, etc.
Okay.
And I know this from having grown up and gone to school with people who, are German and, are not proud of like some family history, etc. But they do know that this was the case, that there were people who, Argentina did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, obviously people would have fled at some point. They would have fled. They went somewhere.
So apparently they turned an eye the other way.
Right.
So that's a little bit of like history, but that's also, if you look at Calpe and you look at Jalón, there's a huge German community, which may have nothing to do with that right now. But in the olden days, you could say that there was a lot of influence because of the political alignment that Spain had with Germany.
Yeah. Look at us learning about history in the Jalón market. I went to buy a crystal vase, but...
It was so random. Like, oh my God, how are you people selling this stuff here? I'm sorry, but it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Anyway, so let's talk about the area around Jalón.
Okay.
So we have Moraira. That's south. It's a really charming port town. It is more upmarket, so from a housing sort of situation. And it's great for like a long lunch. It's a very, very beautiful place. Then you have Benissa, which is a medieval old town, completely underrated. And you can see Calpe from there. And you have the Peñón de Fach in Calpe, which is beautiful. My husband suggested that we hike it. I'm like, no way on earth. Like,
you can hike it though.
I know, but I looked at videos of what that hike looks like.
Yeah.
Congratulations to anyone that's done that hike. It looks extremely dangerous.
I think it's serious.
Yeah. So you could think ideal Sunday, market in the morning, long lunch, afternoon swim or wander around, and you're home before the sunset. So it's a full-blown weekend Valencian, experience.
Yeah. And I hope that if, as you're listening to our podcast and learning about Spain, that we're trying to give anybody who's interested something off the beaten track a little bit.
Absolutely.
Even though there's a lot of people there, it's busy, but it's something that is not on a tourist itinerary. You're not going to get a tour bus.
Yeah.
Driving through there.
No, you would in Guadalest, but not there. So, Nalini, do you want to talk to us about the wines from Jalón?
Oh, the wines from Jalón. Well, we didn't try any while we were there, but what I found really interesting is that as you're driving in, you can see that it is really very much a valley. So it creates the perfect temperature to grow certain grape varieties. You have the cooler winters, you have the cooler nights, but also you get that heat in the summertime. So I'm not obviously a winemaker, but that apparently is fantastic conditions for that particular type of grape.
So specifically, it's the low yield, rocky soil, and high sun exposure.
Yes.
And it's very affordable wine. So a lot of the wine there is also produced through cooperatives.
Okay.
So meaning that cooperatives. So it means that, they actually, come together, they bring the produce, it reduces the overall price that someone that has very small amount of product would have to pay. So I think it's a really cool experience. You can book wine tours.
Yes.
They are available and they're definitely worth booking in advance.
No, and they're busy. So you have the wineries and they sell their wines very affordable as well. But I found it really interesting that a lot of them are sold in plastic. They're sold in plastic, which...
Like 5 liter.
Yeah, 5 liter. And you think about it, it's probably just easier and more economical for them. And it's not people are buying it.
Oh yeah, there's like most of the people that we saw leaving the market, they were leaving with some wine as well,
Yeah.
and olive oil.
Olive oil,
Because
absolutely.
in a lot of these kind of small wineries or in the wine tours, you can also buy olive oil from the region.
Yes. Right. So did you enjoy the morning?
I did enjoy the morning.
Yeah,
I
me
thought
too.
Jalón was very interesting, and
Yeah.
I've heard all my life about the Jalón market. Live in this area, and I
you've
had never
gone?
been.
Aw.
So this was my first time. So should we do some fun facts
Yes,
about the
let's do it.
markets and Jalón?
Yes, go ahead. You start.
Okay, so Spain has over 1,000 weekly outdoor markets. 1,000.
Wow.
Every town, however small, has one. The tradition predates the Roman occupation.
Okay. And the Jalón Valley produces some of the most distinctive grapes in Europe with the Moscatel. And it's, again, a DO.
Denomination of origin.
Right. So that is protected. And it's used in many different things as well as not just winemaking, but pastries.
Another fun fact is that the name Jalón comes
Yes.
from the Arabic shalot, a
Oh.
reminder that the Moors shaped this valley for centuries. So the irrigation channels that we've talked about in the Valencia episode are built and still in use today, the same original ones.
Wow. It's just really special. I mean, the things that we've been able to see and attend and go to, it's a really special place. It's beautiful. It's stunningly pretty. And I always find that when we are in these locations, and as a person who did not grow up here, when you picture in your mind what, I don't know, like a Spanish town would look like, without ever knowing anything, this is the type of area that you would picture.
Yes.
And then you are actually standing in it and experiencing it. It's just really pretty and special. And I think people sometimes take it for granted.
Absolutely. Okay.
Slice
alive. Slice alive.
Yay. All right. So today we talked about the market culture, which I'm super passionate about.
Go market lady.
And I'm going to go on Sunday. Do you want to go on Sunday?
I would actually. I would love to go on Sunday.
Yeah.
Can we get a t-shirt made like market ladies?
Market. No, I have my basket, my hat.
ML.
Yeah, all the things. We're going to dive a little bit into our lunch that we had on that day, on the Saturday morning that we went. But first, we're going to have a little drink. And what are we having?
So we are having, excuse the reach, Moscatel,
Yes.
El Artesano, casa fundada en 1899. And Moscatel is also quite prominent, as we mentioned, in Jalón.
Yes, it's the type of grape.
Yes.
Right.
And Nalini is going to be trying this for the first time.
Okay.
This is liquor wine.
Liquor wine. Okay.
So it's liquor.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to set the expectation straight.
All right. Because
And
when
then graduation on this is 15. So it's not too bad.
Okay, when I went to look for it, because I've never purchased it before, I had to ask because I'm looking through the whites, the reds, the sparkling, all the things. And maybe that's a heavy pour, Laura.
Okay,
but-
sorry, a little.
I'm going to smell it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Smell good?
Mm-hmm.
Try
it.
it.
Smells very,
Let me know what you think.
here, cheers.
Okay, let me just pull the bottle off. Okay, here we go. Cheers.
This is not the type of glass you should be drinking it in, by the
No,
way.
but we didn't have the right glass, so don't kill us.
It's really nice.
I think with ice, and I don't think people usually drink it with ice, doesn't this remind you of like a much sweeter version of cherry?
Yeah, like it's just really sherry.
Sherry. What is going on today? My Spanish and English are like, I think I'm like sleep deprived or something. Cherry.
As
Doesn't
soon as you
this
said
remind you of cherry?
I was thinking of a little cherry. I'm like,
Doesn't this
sure
remind you of a
does,
cherry? Sure.
It does. It does remind me of a sherry, though. Even though I don't really drink that type of alcohol. But this is really, it's very mild. I thought it was going to be actually very strong.
Oh, no.
It's not. It's really mild. It's smooth, and that is a really nice dessert wine.
It is a dessert wine.
Yeah,
I mean, it's sweet.
super.
You can
nice.
picture it with like a cheesecake or something. It'd be pretty perfect.
I think this is going to have a renaissance.
Yeah. We're bringing back moscatel.
No, I'm being serious. Do you know how like some of these old fashioned things all of a sudden
like
will come back?
Negroni.
Yeah, they'll just come back into, it'll be something that's forgotten. I have a feeling this will have a renaissance in the mainstream, like vermouth, for example.
Yeah. So
Right?
moscatel. We said it first.
Yeah.
Okay, so for our slice of life, as Nalini mentioned, we want to share with you where we went for lunch, which was a bit off the beaten path.
Literally off the beaten path.
I think I almost got laser eyes from my husband for making him drive out there. So culturally here, it is very acceptable to drive for a little while to go somewhere for lunch.
Right.
Because again, the food culture is huge. And I have found, I don't know if this is a wrong observation, but please correct me if I'm wrong, that for people from North America, that is not that common, that you actually like invest 45 minutes driving somewhere for a meal.
You would. I don't, it's not that you wouldn't do it because I think you're used to driving anyways in bigger cities, depending on where you live. But the other thing is that we were kind of lost and we had no idea where we were going. And then the drive is really in the middle of nowhere.
Like you think the GPS is tricking you, basically.
No, it's really, when I say it's in the middle of nowhere, and that's where often these restaurants tend to be, you think there is no way that's a road. Like that's not a road. The GPS is saying turn right. You're like, that's not a road.
There is no way we're going down that road.
But we are. And I said, I was in the back seat and I told you, I said, we've been here before. And that one of the roads is where we took a sunset horseback riding. And I was like, Laura, I know we've passed this house, but on horses.
Yes.
And it turns out
I was
right.
Yep, absolutely. So we did not find this restaurant on a guide or anything like that. I had actually heard about this restaurant many times, but had never been able to rope anybody into going.
Right.
And that day is like, this is the perfect chance. So Casa del Maco.
Do you want to spell it?
Yes. So Casa, C-A-S-A,
right.
del, D-E-L, and then Maco, M-A-C-O.
Okay.
And it is a little retreat. It doesn't just have a restaurant. There's a little hotel. And I think some people go there to like spend their holidays or the weekend.
Yeah, it's like a cute little, if to explain it in a different way, it's almost like a little boutique-y Airbnb.
Yes, it is. It definitely is. So it is Belgian Mediterranean.
Right.
Which sounds like a combination that maybe shouldn't work, but it does work. And you sit down, it's a very nice atmosphere. Their service is very, very good. We got the table in the corner of the terrace and the light and everything with the valley behind us was absolutely gorgeous. So what did you appreciate about it?
I would say it felt like we were in a little, I don't know, rom-com.
Yeah. Like
even though
the Tuscany something.
Yeah, like you've stumbled on this little, because we were, quite truthfully, we were lost.
Yeah, we were. And
we were lost.
We didn't get a reservation until 15 minutes before showing up there.
And they were and the reason we had to book a reservation is because Jalón, listen, all respect to them. The restaurants seem fabulous, but there is just simply not enough wait staff.
So at what restaurant that we walked into, there were 50 tables for 4 servers.
And full. And they're full. And they're running. They're so busy, they forget. They can't even remember what you put in to order. And again, I'm not knocking them. I completely see where they're coming from. There's a lot of people, especially on the Saturday morning. The flip side is the restaurants really should hire more staff,
people,
even if it's just for the Saturday morning rush that they get. So we were kind of stuck. We were all getting super hungry, and this is how we made our way to the restaurant. But we're really lost in the forest.
Yes, we were. Casa del Maco, we actually had the set menu, which was, I think, 27 euros, which was quite affordable.
Yeah, it was really nice. They have, I think their concept too is not quite farm to table, but still very local produce.
Very fresh.
Yeah. Fresh caught seafood because they're very close to
The sea.
Yeah, very close to the sea. And that is the view that you have. So and right where the restaurant is situated, if anybody is familiar with this, you can see the train, the little tram going through the mountain from, I guess it would be Calpe.
Calpe, yeah.
So Calpe. And you just see it there. It's like going through beautiful views, super quiet. And they have a pool, which obviously for the guests that they have staying overnight, where after your long lunch, I don't think they would tell you anything if you decided to have a little siesta there.
Yeah, I actually saw someone that was kind of heading in that direction. And one of the cool things that we found is when we went to the restroom that there's a little boutique.
Yeah.
So we actually ended up buying some sunglasses and, a couple of pieces of clothing that were super cute.
Yeah, no, I think it's a very smart marketing, tactic on their part that after you've had this nice long lunch, you have a glass of wine and then, you kind of wander to the ladies' room and lo and behold, there's a boutique and they're not super expensive items either.
Yeah, so very affordable.
Yeah, I can guarantee you they're moving merchandise there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the desserts were delicious.
Yeah.
So definitely recommend a stop there. Again, not sponsored by the restaurant, just giving you our honest review and recommendation. So should we go to our sentence of the day?
Yes.
Okay. So the sentence of the day today is El que busca, encuentra.
What you search for, you get? No?
Yeah. He who seeks or she who seeks, finds.
Oh, wow. I actually got that right.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
You 2 in a row now. Almost a third one. And in Jalón, you genuinely never know what you're going to find.
Right.
But that's entirely the point.
All right. Well, thanks for listening and joining with us today. And bye for now.
And next episode coming up, we're going to be talking about Denia.
Yay.